Alright, we're doing the 6th homework for Thermodynamics II at the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. Homework 6 is vapor-liquid equilibrium, or Raoult solve for adults. However you want to, and azeotropes, and all these other good things. Okay, bubble pressures, deep pressures, all that kind of stuff. Alright, so, I have to ask myself, what do I know, what do I don't know, and what do I have a value for? Okay, and also, I need to have the right equations. And so you can see here, I have a don't know and I don't know. So what the problem is asking is rework Koretsky's 8.18, but with me knowing T and Yi, and as such I don't know Xi and I don't know P. Okay, and so this becomes a due pressure. Now you might be like, oh well, what's the point of a due pressure? I mean, you know, how often does that come up? Well, it doesn't. But what it does do is it helps you practice thinking about things from an algorithmic point of view. You know, it helps you go through these steps so like, you know, whether it's this equation or any other equation, you can walk yourself through the logic of how to solve a problem iteratively. Okay? And so now I don't have to solve this one iteratively, but I can get the basis for it. Okay? And I write down what do I know, you know, my equations. So YIP equals XI. PI sat, again, it's ideal, okay, just like 6.3 was, okay, but instead of summation of yi equals 1, I want to use summation of xi equals 1. Why? Well, because that's the one I don't know. And the other one I know that 0.5 high plus 0.45 equals 1, so these are the ones I want to use, okay, and just like before, you know, I solve for yi, this case I'm going to solve for xi. Now, why do I solve for xi? Because I know this guy, and I know this guy, and I don't know these ones. And so I either have to like attack xi or I have to attack p. Well, I could attack p and I could say, okay, p equals, you know, xi pi said over yi. That doesn't really help me because I don't have another equation that has p. I only have one equation that has p. Or rather, you know, with, you know, everything being I. But if I do xi, then I can basically solve for each xi, which I can just do, you know, as 1, and then I can plug xi generically into here, and then I'm good to go. So let's do that. Summation of yip over pi sat equals 1. The other thing, whenever I'm doing these algorithmic problems, I want to ask myself, what do I know, what do I don't know, and what do I have a value for? You know, especially if I get stuck, If I get stuck, I can be like, okay, what do I know? What do I don't know? What do I have a value for? Okay, because let's face it, there's a lot going on, and, you know, it helps to kind of get your brain kind of organized, okay? And so I ask myself, okay, do I know or have a value for yi? I do. Do I know or have a value for p? I don't. Do I know or have a value for pi sat? I do because I know my t's. Okay, and I can use the same saturation pressures I used for when I did 8.18. I don't need to redo them. Okay. Do I know or have a value for 1? Yeah, it's 1. Okay, so I can rearrange this to be 1 over p is equal to summation of yi over pi sat, or p is equal to 1 over the summation of yi pi sat. Okay. This is not equal to summation of pi sat over yi. That's naughty math. I can't do that. It may look like I can do that, but I can't do that. Why? Well, because it's a summation. I have additive terms, you know. You know, the inverse of 1/2 plus 1/3 is not 5. It may look like it's 5, but it's not 5. And I better not make it 5 or else I'm going to get in big trouble. Okay. And so I find it easier to use this guy than this guy, so that I don't make that mistake. I find it easier just to like, okay, let's calculate 1 over p and then just inverse the answer. Okay, and that tends to make, it tends to make less mistakes. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay. But I ask myself first, do I know YI? Yes, I do. Do I know PI sat? Yes, I do. Do I, and do I know what? Yes, I do. And so I know enough to just plug things in. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to inverse the answer. Okay, and now I'm going to have P. Okay, so I have value for P. I look, okay, what do I still not have value for? Well, I don't have value for Xi. Do I have an equation for Xi? Yes, I do. Right here. So do I know or have value for Yi? I do. Do I know or have a value for P? I now do. Do I know or have value for PI sat? I do. So I have enough to get all my Xi's. And I just, again, plug and chug at that point. But really the core of this problem is recognizing, okay, here's my equations, and, what do I know, what do I don't know, what do I have a value for, and all that good stuff.